Hey everybody, did you know you can go to colinmullen.com in order to get art and art prints? So I set up the website, colinmullen.com. So hey everybody, before you get into this week's thing, I want to talk about this painting for a minute. Obviously I used I started another painting, then I realized that it was going to suck, and so I just stopped and just had like a partially filled in canvas. And because real artists don't just throw away canvases after they do stuff like that, they just repurpose them. That's what an actual artist would do. I know it's not like the YouTuber way, but I feel like that you need to see that part of the process where it's like, yep, there was another painting here and I'm painting over it because that's what, needed to be done, because I don't have infinite money and means and don't have infinite space for stuff, and not every piece is going to be a masterpiece. So, if I sense that it's going to be bad, and that I don't like the way it's gonna go, then I'll just paint over it. That's just a thing. So anyway, that's why it's this way. As far as the subject matter of the painting itself, I was not having a great day the other day, and I was just kind of lying around in bed, and then my neighbors upstairs started playing really loud music and stomping around and just being annoying. And I had like this thought come into my head, and I'm like, yeah, that's perfect. That's great for a piece of art. So for this week's video, I want to talk about the kind of unspoken meta art advice of art advice, and that is that every single artist who is giving out art advice, including myself, is giving it from the perspective of what they've learned, how they've learned to do art, and the kind of art that they do. That means that a lot of people have, equally valid ways of doing art, but also equally valid tips on how to do art, but they conflict with each other. Stuff that I say may not very well apply to the art that you're doing, or some art that someone else is doing may not apply to the art that you're doing. I try and give my art theory stuff that lens from the perspective of what I'm thinking and what I'm personally believing about my journey through art and the work that I do. But also, I try and produce, videos on how to do basics of art, but also understanding that, I just did a video on perspective not too long ago, and I don't think that would apply at all for this painting that I'm doing here. There is some perspective work, but it's not really crucial that the perspective is photorealistic here, and that's fine. You get an idea of the positioning of this creature in this painting. That's good enough, it doesn't have to really go by 2-point or 1-point or 3-point or any of that kind of perspective. You don't even really have a sense of place in this image because that's not the purpose and that's not the point of this painting. However, I suggested that you learn perspective in that video. And yeah, for a lot of things, you probably do need perspective, or at least to be able to understand that rule to be able to break it. But you could totally do art without having any understanding of perspective. You could totally do art without having any sense of color theory. You could do art without these things. You could do art while completely disagreeing with my philosophical takes on art. And you could do all of that while also listening to someone else who says something different than what I do, or you could listen to two people. And the main issue I'm really getting at here is when you take two different artists and you try and combine their art, but they also conflict with each other a lot. You need to take the advice that you're given in these videos, not just mine, but everyone who does art videos, from the perspective of that is that person's opinion, and that is that person's personal stance and view on how to get idea from your head into thing that people can look at or listen to or whatever. At the end of the day, it's a process thing. And so the process that I do and the process that someone else does are going to be different, and they're going to conflict. Maybe. And that doesn't mean that either of us are wrong. This is a lot of words to say that when you do art, you're going to have an opinion on how it's done. And those opinions are opinions, not facts. And you need to be able to pick out the opinions that work for you, apply them to your own work, and then go from there. And not take everything that everyone says as fact. The appeal to authority that you see someone who does good art, and then you just go, okay, well, they have to be right. Well, I mean, maybe they are right about some things because you like the way they do art, but maybe, like, for you, it's different. Maybe you can get a result that you like while ignoring that art advice, even though you like that artist. Just saying. Anyway, let me thank the people on patreon.com/RevScarecrow who help make these videos happen. If you want to join them, if you want to help me out and make art and talk about art and have wrong opinions sometimes, wow, that's a good sell. You can go to patreon.com/RevScarecrow. That's what the people at the $5 tier or more here did, which gives them access to the Discord, as well as a thank you at the end of my videos, starting with my mom and dad. I love you. Thank you, Wap Fu. Thank you, Tofoundor. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, Skelecorgi. Thank you, Reverend Joe. Thank you, Retrograde. Thank you, Mortis. Thank you, Maliciousness. Thank you, Kayla Hollinger. Thank you, Gabriel Bennett. Thank you, Freak Wannabe. Thank you, Egg. Thank you, Dragon. Thank you, Chiptune Glitch. Thank you, Bungle Paws. Thank you, Blake. Thank you, Bep. Thank you, BD648. Thank you, Amber. Thank you, Acrobus. And thank you, Ats! A little short one today, you know? And like I said, I don't really care that it's like really early in the morning on like, you know, a Sunday. My neighbors don't really seem to care that it's sometimes really late on, you know, I don't know, Thursday or a Wednesday. And it's like, man, I would really like to go to sleep so that way I can wake up the next morning and actually be alive. But, you know, I don't even know where I'm going with that. I'm so tired. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.